Storage and Reorganization Project, Part 13, I think. We're going to be... Another case in point why we need to do this project. We're going to be building the telephone shelf today, or at least cutting the wood. If this takes forever, which is very likely, then I will probably break it up into two sections. So we have 8 sheets of plywood. We're going to cut at least 7 of them today. And I have a vintage table saw that my neighbor gave me, which would be good for this, but I have not used it yet. And I don't think that it's a good idea to try to use a new tool for the first time on good, expensive new material for an important project. It's just not setting up for success. So in retrospect, I should have used the table saw when I first got it so that when the use case came up, I would be familiar with it, but I didn't. So now I have a table saw which would work better for this than the circular saw, I think, but I am not going to experiment with it on a new project or on new material. So I need to get these batteries on charge because I think one of them is flat still. I do have a regular AC powered circular saw, which we might end up using. I'll try to start with this one just for the convenience factor, but if it runs out of charge, then we'll switch to the other one. All right, let me get these vacuums out of the way. I was kind of hoping to be able to do this outside. It got fairly warm today, or it looked fairly warm today. Got nice and sunny, but when I went outside, it was unpleasant. So I said, nope, we'll just do it inside and make a mess. I'll try to contain the dust as much as possible, but at the end of the day, we're going to make a mess. Still has some of fan collector Russ's fans to work on. This is my fan to work on. And this is my fan to use. It's in operating order. Okay. Let's clean up this table saw, or this miter saw, and put this away. I'm not going to be using this. At least I don't think so. This doesn't sound right. I think the filter's clogged from all the dust. Yeah, this is not working properly at all. This is plugged. Oh yeah, there you go. Look at that freak show in there. Completely plugged. Where the heck did all that dust come from? Huh. This is kind of odd. Actually, these can go in the blue bin for the recycling.
man, what a mess. As I always say, I just don't understand the appeal to a bagless vacuum. Look at this mess we're making in here. Now I gotta take this outside and blast it with compressed air to really clean this properly. But we should be able to at least get it to work. Oh man. Oh, you gotta be flippin' kidding. Alright, we're gonna have to use this with its janky cord to clean this up. I'm trying to think that doesn't have the best filter for working with sawdust, but it's gotta be better than this. Having this mess like this, because this is this filter plugged too? Kind of. This really is not usable in this condition. Oh man. This is what we call a vacuum freak show. Wish I had the bags for this right about now. Haven't sourced any yet. Still got to replace the cord in this. That's super flaky. Whatever. That's just whatever it's going to be. This is blowing a lot of motor cooling exhaust, which is clean air, but I don't want that like that because it's going to get dust everywhere. I think we're going to use this while we're doing the sawing. Okay. Alright, this should be functional again. Just make sure this is now working. It sounds better, but it's still not really working. This is pretty much out of commission until I blow all the filters out with compressed air. Now, if this was a bagged vacuum, we could just replace the bag. This is one of many reasons why I don't like bagless vacuums. But this has its use case. But it's not going to be with this project, apparently. Okay. I'll finish cleaning the saw here. Much better. Jeez, this inside of this thing here is filthy. And it's all sticky too. What the heck? Is there something sticky on the saw? I don't see what would be sticky on saw. No, I don't stinking see anything sticky. The heck, it sounds like a snake in here. Ding! I think that this is where that was before, but I guess I can go there now. I think that's part of that. Okay, we're gonna need that. Leave that out. We're not gonna need this. We're not gonna need this. I'm not gonna need this. Okay, this can go back with the saw. I'm not gonna need this. We're not gonna need this. We're not gonna need this. I'm not gonna need that. I'm not gonna need this. At least not for any constructive purpose that I can think of. Not gonna need that, not gonna need that. Shouldn't need that at all. Can't get to where that's gotta go. Okay. No, I don't need gloves. Not gonna get a splinter. I have calluses on my hands because I actually use my hands as opposed to just playing on a dumb iPhone all day. I'm gonna need this because this is very noisy and this is going to get in the way. All right, where is the information? Here's the information. So this is important. So we have to make one cut that's 10 inches. And then we have to make another cut that's 10 inches, but that cut that's 10 inches is only a 34 width, so that 10-inch cut, the second one has to go twice. I still have not located the metric unit, so we're stuck with these stupid dumb inches. Hate these things. What does the other side of this look like? We'll use the other side facing up because it doesn't have all this stuff on there. And there's our 10-inch mark. I do have to get in that drawer because I need the square. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. That's not where that goes. I gotta do something better than this. This drawer is a stinking mess. We need this, and then we're gonna need a couple straight edges. I used to have, I think I put them in the attic. I used to have some straight edges over here. I think that we can use this though. This project is not long enough that it would exceed this, I don't think. Yeah, this will be fine for this project. This is not perfectly square. It's out by about 2 or 3 mil by the time you get to the end. This side's not like that. This side is perfectly square. So this is not going to be perfect, even if I do everything right, which is a little frustrating. And that's why when I lined this up, there is discrepancy. Not a huge discrepancy, but it does exist. this we could probably cut maybe 3 boards at a time. I just want to do one separately to make sure that this is correct. And then if we can confirm that this is correct, then I will try to do 2 or 3 at the same time. So that should be generally square, if all is correct here, which we know not everything here is correct, but let's make sure this is generally on point. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Alright. So we're going to use that as our first cut. Make sure that the tables are out of the way. I've never cut through the tables before. I don't want to make today the first time. All right, that's pretty good. Let's get the saw set up correctly. Okay, put a battery into the saw. Let's see if I can use, how am I going to use the protective ears? This is getting a little flaky. I might not be able to use the camera like this for this section of the video. I might have to use the regular camera for this. Yeah, this is not going to work. I'm going to have to use I'll just have to put you up over here for now. Like this. Just put this over here. My ears are more important than the video. I think that contained the dust relatively well. Certainly better than nothing. Alright, so we've got an interesting artifact here. Not sure why that happened. Let's see how this came out. That's pretty good. There is a discrepancy here. I didn't. This probably doesn't matter, but for the sake of being. Oh, that's the wrong saw to use. Yeah, but it'll give us a precise cut, and that's what we need right now. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's take this inside and see how this is in terms of the depth. Well, it's kind of hard to tell because I didn't clear this out yet, but I'll just stick this up on the wall here and see if we get an estimate. Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all. It's a little tight, you know, but it's gonna be. I think there's plenty of space. I can comfortably walk through here normally, and I wish we could prop this up here a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. It's almost in line with that. There is definitely a splinter hazard here if you walk by and it scrapes your arm, but don't scrape your arm on the shelf. It is close, it's tight, but it's no tighter than this was, and this has been like this for years. I mean, I went through Christmas time carrying the boxes up and down like this. You know, it's pretty much the same depth, so I think that we're gonna go with that. All right, let's make some more cuts. I guess we'll just go ahead and finish it off, because we know that that was the only depth I had any question about, or the only unit I had question about. We know what that is going to be. That's just whatever it is. Yeah, then there's your 14 inches left, so that makes sense. All right, so let's do a whole bunch of cuts now. Might as well just put the tripod now. It makes more sense. Okay, so we got to make another 10-inch cut. Good. Now we have to shrink this one down to, we said 34 the inches. This unfortunately is a scrap piece at this point. It's not of any use during this project. Might be good for something else though. 34. That's not good. It broke. Or maybe this just came off. That was peculiar. We'll check it one more time after we have both of these pieces, just to confirm everything's okay, and then we'll try to maybe do 2 or 3 at a time. All right, so this piece, that wasn't great. This piece and this piece should make up our final shelf. And they appear to be about the same thickness. And so now, unfortunately, this piece is also a scrap. So there is going to be a fair bit left over, but this is a good sized piece. We'll keep these. We could probably use these for something else at some point. All right, let's take a look inside. We know the depth is correct, so now we're just interested in the length. So that should go like that, and then this should come just to the end here. It looks a bit long. That's right at the end. Oh, no, it's pretty much right on point. It's definitely close. We probably could have gone down 1 inch, but oh man, that is pretty close. It will fit, but I mean, just barely. We'll keep it. All right, let's get the rest of these boards cut. We're gonna cut, did we say 7 or 8? I think we're only gonna cut 7, because the top one I'm gonna use as like a shield from that pipe, or maybe I'll cut a piece of PVC. I don't know, I'm not sure what to do about that just yet. So according to this, I should be able to cut 4 of them at once, which will really save some time. So let's try that. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't work. Although I suppose the danger is that if I make an error, it's 4x instead of 1x. But it'll save a lot of time if we do 4 together. We just have to make sure that these are all exactly lined up. You know, these pieces are not all the same. They're perfectly lined up on this side and perfectly lined up on this side. And there's probably about at least a 2 mil discrepancy over here. And this top sheet's probably at least an eighth of an inch shorter than the rest of them. Now this lumber at the other Home Depot has really gone downhill in quality. I know it was never great to begin with, but between the warped pieces I saw this last time when I was buying this stuff, and now with this discrepancy, you know, this is pretty bad. I mean, this is fine for a hobby project like this, but I wouldn't use this to actually build anything. You couldn't. It's not accurate enough. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, well, ridiculousness aside, we still need to measure and cut it. think I'm containing the dust pretty well. It's a little dusty, but not bad. All right, so if that worked successfully, which it looks like it did, that is fantastic. Huge time saver. 10, 10, the 10, the 10. Okay, that's how we're going to do it then. That makes good sense to me. Just blasted through 4 cuts and it came out good. So we only have to do everything twice. So now I'm going to cut that side off because that's the side that's got discrepancies to it. It's very critical at this point that this does not lose the alignment. Oh no, something else broke. No, I don't think it broke, it just came apart. I'm tired of all this stuff breaking all the time. These are allegedly UL certified OEM batteries. All right, so we should have some 10 by 34 pieces. Perfect. Hello.
Hi,
Okay.
looking in. Did you wanna eat lunch out somewhere, or would you like to eat here?
Either one is fine with me.
Okay. And I guess the second thing is, I've got all of the information, I think. I've got last year. Is there anything else that I need, or additions, or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we'll kind of sort that out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I got everything that you email them or something, right, or something.
Right, it goes on the computer.
Yeah, okay. Is snow melting over your place?
Yeah, it melted a fair bit today.
Yeah, it's got up there. Actually got up to the 40s today. And the latest version of TurboTax, so. Okay, Epco's ready to go. No refund yet, though.
No.
Okay. All right, we'll see you about 11. Huh?
All right.
Oh, I forgot what I said. Did you want to go eat, or do you want to eat?
Either one is fine with me. I mean, I figured you'd want to use the truck again just to keep it running.
Yeah, I would. I don't like to let it sit. I think, years ago, I think it's before something with my original truck that I had. You didn't start it up and everything. The engine, in the winter, it was really cold. The engine would start, but didn't sound good, and it didn't really run good until it got warmed up. But this particular truck, I had it started up, and I didn't go anywhere, but I ended up starting it, and it started up like normal.
Hmm. Well, it's Japanese. It's probably a better engine.
Well, and I think the fact that it wasn't oil weight, used to be. Well, maybe we'll go out and take a look. Let's see. The only thing is, Gran wants to know if we're going to eat in or eat out.
Well, if she wants to eat with us, we could go pick something up. We could go over to like Peking Tokyo and pick up something from there.
Yeah. All right. Bye. Okay. So I guess we're only going to cut 2 more pieces. Unless, should I try to cram another shelf? I think that probably 7. That's what I have on the other shelf, and it looks reasonable. Let me go just check something inside one more time. We're gonna do the 7. 7 is enough. 8 would be too much. Wouldn't fit. So we'll have 1 extra piece of plywood. This piece is kind of warped, so maybe we'll not use this one. This is so warped, I probably should just take that back and get my $14 back. No, $19, yeah. I think I'll take that one back. So this one's probably the same way, right? Yeah, there's a discrepancy. They're not exactly the same. That's kind of ridiculous because it's off by almost 1/8 of an inch in some spots. It's a significant difference. I would imagine if this is being cut by some kind of machine that it should be more precise than that. Yeah, and over here, the top is shorter, and then over here, the top is longer. And over here, it's pretty much the same all the way through, so there really is a considerable discrepancy here, which, you know, on the hobby level here, this is fine, but if you're really building something with this, it's not fine.
Alright, that's a wrap. Everything is cut. That went a lot quicker than I was expecting. At least it was quick by my standards. I suppose the most people's probably took forever. But all the cuts look pretty good. Pretty accurate. Those are all within 1/8 of an inch of each other. It's pretty good. Got our brackets. Now I gotta find some screws.
I believe I bought a bunch of screws that I used. I know I bought screws for the last shelf that I built. Here it is. These, I think. I think these are the screws that we used. Yeah, these were the screws that we used. So we got plenty of screws. And into the wall, we can just use regular 1-inch screws. I got a lot of those on hand. Yeah. Okay. All right. We are ready to install the shelf. As far as the materials are concerned, I still have to prepare the area. We got to take all that stuff out that's there, and then we have to get rid of the remaining piece of the drop ceiling. Then we have to clean the little bits and pieces of drywall that are left, and then I think that's it. I'd like to get a little piece of PVC. Maybe I'll cut like a drain thing if I have one, and stick that up there into the pipe. But that's not necessarily essential. I don't think it's going to break, but I'd rather not take the chance.